Hi, and welcome to History's a Blast. We're camping in northeastern Ohio at a place called Westside Lake Park, and we're about 30 minutes away from the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, Ohio's only national park, one of the newer ones from the 1970s. Today we're going to visit a couple of historic sites, and one of them is the Hale Farm, so come along for the ride. We're here at the Hale Family Farm and Village, which is a property of the Western Reserve Historical Association within the boundaries of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. The admission today for us was $20 a person, and it was $15 a person, and we got a $1 per person discount for being members of AAA, so not bad. It's a nice looking place. Most of the stuff is not open because they don't have the staffing now that the college students apparently are not back yet. They apparently depend on college students. But we're going to walk around and try to avoid the screaming children. Jonathan Hale was one of the first settlers in the Cuyahoga Valley. In 1810 he settled this land, and although the family struggled at first, they became successful. They benefited from the construction nearby in 1827 of the Ohio and Erie Canal. So that was a good way for them to get their produce to distant markets via Lake Erie and the Ohio River. This area is not open today, but I wanted to walk up here because I can never resist, as longtime viewers know, machinery, antique machinery. Here's an old stationary, portable, but not self-propelled steam engine. Cool. What we'll do is we'll walk up here to this intersection. The barn is not open today, so we'll cut down this road to an 1805 cabin called the Fritch Log Cabin. Looks like that portable steam engine powered a sawmill in here. I'll bet you there was a sawmill in here. This looks dead like a sawmill. Yep, sawmill roof. There we go. There's the Fritch cabin. A little bit of a soft, muddy road here, but not too muddy. Now this is a living history site. So they have educators located at various places, such as the cabin here, to explain the history of the building and hopefully a little bit of what's going on inside.
Gotten a little too hot because, as you can see,
We see there's a demonstration in progress here. This is the Fritch log cabin. It's wasn't built by the Hales.
No, the Hale family log cabin does not exist anymore. So log cabins were typically temporary structures. So when the Hale family built their actual house, they would have taken apart their log cabin and used the wood for something else.
I see.
So we got this cabin, the Fritch family cabin, in the 1990s and used it to represent what a log cabin would have looked like.
And you're doing baking demonstration, I guess, here.
Yeah, both cooking. I don't really know what these are called. I made some, I need to make some more, pie crust dough. Cut up some apples with some spices, and then I'm just forming them into little balls and frying them there on my grill.
You're frying them, okay.
Yep, I'm frying them.
Pan fried, great.
Yep.
Fire. Usually I send videos like this from Scout Camp. Well, I guess now we'll go ahead on down to the Hale family house. Looks like there's a spinning demonstration going on here. This is from sheep to shawl today. From sheep to shawl.
Textiles for the summer. So at least 4 hours of spinning to have enough yarn for a pair of mittens. And that doesn't include making the mittens, that's just making the yarn, or dyeing it if you want to change the color. So if you've heard of the story of the 3 little kittens who lost their mittens, you understand why the mother was so upset.
Yeah.
A lot of work goes into those mittens.
And what a talent it is to be able to string that right in there without any break in the...
It takes practice, and if it does break, it's all right. Like that, you just lay it right back on top, the next section, and it just, all those little barbs hook right together.
Yeah, wow.
Magic.
Yeah, nice. So this is the carding.
Yeah, those are hand cards.
Hand card, okay. Again, for stretching or for combing the wool, getting all the impurities out of it. And from the barn, we moved to the house that they eventually built. Mr. Hale made the bricks for this house, believe it or not. Old brick was built here by Jonathan Hale and his oldest sons, William and Andrew, beginning in 1825, it says. It was completed with family help by 1827, and the family of 7 moved into the ground floor as the upper floors were still being constructed. Bricks and mortar were made right here on the property. Oh, let's go in. There's a nice little porch to sit on in the evening, or in the morning maybe, looking out over your property. Lovely. Split level. Interesting construction. Oh, look at the leaf table. There's a chandelier for you. Small scale. Going into the bedroom. Looks like a combination of gas or kerosene and candle. Pretty interesting. Look at these lights. Pretty clock. Has a mirror on the front of it. The tea set, double-ended. That's interesting. There's a little thing for holding the window open. 2 different levels. And looking out on down here in the lower room, they have the chalkboard where they have a monthly update on this month in Jonathan Hale history. That's pretty interesting. He was, wow. Back here, we come on back here. Oh, there's, hello there, into the kitchen. Now we're going to cross the road from the farmstead to the village. And the village is interesting to me because it's not a contiguous, historically contemporary village. It's actually an outdoor museum. When the family deeded this property to the Western Reserve Historical Association, they wanted to put a village on the other side of the road. So the Historical Association began acquiring historical buildings from all over the area and moving them here. So this village is actually called an 1840s village. It's a living history village, but the buildings themselves were not built originally on the site they're occupying. They were actually moved here. Hi there. Little vegetable garden in the back. Well, it's laid out like a very traditional village. Houses, a church there, meeting house, surrounding a green, the commons. Oh, I hear thunder in the distance. There is rain and thunderstorms in the forecast for today. This is the law office. Once owned and used by Senator Benjamin Franklin Wade, who narrowly lost the opportunity to become president by one vote during Andrew Johnson's impeachment. Ben Wade. I'm not sure if he was a Lincoln nemesis or a Lincoln... he was a radical. He was a radical abolitionist, so he was not a friend of Abraham Lincoln, who was not moving fast enough on the emancipation issue. Ben Wade's law office. Wow. That's historically significant right there. Church building or meeting house was constructed in 1852 in nearby Streetsboro, Ohio. That's near our campground. And it was built by a Baptist congregation, but it was also shared with a Methodist congregation and a Presbyterian congregation over the years. And it's still being used by the people that donated it to the Historical Association. And hidden away up in the loft behind the congregation is this attractive organ. The Goldsmith House, 1830.
This is, I would say, our fanciest, biggest, yellowest home here on the Village Green. And this home was built for Carolina William Robinson by architect Jonathan Goldsmith, who was an architect of some local renown here in Northeast Ohio in the early to mid 19th century. Now that's a pretty niche category for celebrity, but there you go. Either way, the building itself was finished by 1832, shortly after William passed away.
And it was built where?
Willoughby, Ohio. So this was built Willoughby, Ohio. That's about 50 to 60 miles away from here.
Well, that was a very interesting visit in that house at the end of the green with a very, very well-informed docent named Andrew. So it's starting to thunder, and it was raining a little bit while we were indoors. So we're going to head back to the parking lot through the village on the shortest route possible, and we'll see you on the other side. Well, there's a glass blower up here I forgot that she told us about. And it's on our escape path, so I guess we'll go in here and see if it's open. There's a general store. Those thunder clouds, those thunder claps, I can hear them in the distance, are coming closer. Campbell's General Store. And that's the glass kiln over there. Groceries, more and cheaper than ever before. Debbie's always scooting to get out of the picture, and her friends, especially her friends, never fail to chew me out at parties for not getting enough of Debbie in the video. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. There she is, Debbie's friends. There she is, Mrs. History's a Blast, walking twice as fast as I do. We have a living history demonstration over here. Building a, is that a kiln? This is a pottery shed, not glass. Correct. I conflated the glass blowing that they were talking about and the potting.
Correct. This is the new pottery.
Various items up there that are curing before they're put in the kiln?
Yep, they are dry and ready to be put in the firing. Yep, and I am loading the kiln right now. That's why I'm getting my shelf ready to
I see.
to go in.
Now, is that a pottery? That's obviously an historical pottery kiln behind there.
It's a reproduction of a historical.
Oh, okay.
It's called a bottle kiln.
So it's called a groundhog kiln.
Yes.
And the vertical walls would be underground, and then the hump or the arch is above ground.
Yep. This is the only thing that would be above ground. I will then put my door up.
Right.
There's a few bricks right here that are just going to be an opening I can take out, and that's where the wood will be loaded in.
The fire goes in the front then, and and then the heat comes up and goes out through the flue, right?
Yep. If you see that high point, that's the chimney. You can't see them anymore, but there's holes in the back that then draw the flame back and out the chimney.
Wow. Oh boy, this low light's really great. I could actually see the element.
But if I did go get it from the stream, I would bring it here to my wedging table, wedging clay. Looks like kneading dough. I do this to get air out of my clay. I do this to get it all mixed the same consistency, so I don't end up with hard pieces of clay in my nice soft clay. I want it all the same. In a normal day, I'm wedging clay for the first hour, hour and a half. Okay, now I'm going to put some decoration onto it with anything that's going to make a mark pretty much, since I always have my throwing stick here. I'm going to make a deep groove on the very bottom. That deep groove is for my last tool, clever name, wire. Got that from school. That groove guides it right underneath it, so now it's cut free from the wheel. Can't pick it up with my wet slimy hands. I'm going to get some clay off my hands and dry them off. Now clay likes to stick to dry skin, so I keep them wet the whole time so it's gliding nice and smooth between my hands. But now that it's time to pick it up, I make sure they're dry, and I should be able to pick it right up.
Here we go. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, all in all, that was a real nice visit. We were here for roughly an hour and 45 minutes, and we would have been here another half hour at least, because we bypassed the glassworks and a canal boat.
And the schoolhouse.
And the schoolhouse that Debbie just mentioned. And we looked on the tour. There's an actual canned tour where you can buy a ticket on the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad, and they stop at a station about 2 miles from here, and then they shuttle you here. But the time that you're actually here is only about an hour and a half, and I know it would be guided and structured, but even so, I don't see how you can. Debbie, I don't think either one of us sees how you can really see this place in anything less than 2 hours, and really 2.5 to 3 hours really to enjoy all of it. It's just a wonderful place. And it's only partially staffed this time of year, but the members of the staff are excellent, skilled, and they know what they're talking about. So highly recommend a trip and a visit to the Hale Farm and Village. See you soon.